Hello, YVCS family. It's Mr. D here with my pigs. I'm gonna start by just telling you a little bit about them. I'm gonna feed them a little bit of grass and some other greens that they like to eat, and we'll start with we'll start there. So these are two these are two piglets. They're about 8 months old. They're born in July. Um, Red here is really sweet. She lets you pet her. She likes a good scratch behind the ear, just kind of like a dog. They're about as smart as a dog, if not smarter, some say. They like a good butt scratch. Snout over here, she's a little bit more skittish. She doesn't like to be touched, but they're both sweeties. What I like about this is a specific type of pig. Just like dogs, there's different types of dogs, there's different types of pigs. These are a mix of two breeds. Red here looks more like a coon, which is a breed from New Zealand. They love to eat grass. And this is Snout over here. She looks more like, with the longer snout, more black, American Guinea, which is a southern pig, which is pretty popular in these areas, or has been for a long time. They're also really sweet pigs. These are more fat pigs, so they produce a lot of fat. Used primarily back in the olden days when people didn't have access to butter as much or other oils. They used lard, the fat from the pigs, a lot more. These pigs, though, they're small. They usually take a little bit longer to get a bit bigger. Some of the other breeds, they get bigger faster. When it comes to feed, I like to mix in some greens. They also get some grain in the morning. And they've also had the opportunity to dig and eat different insects. Pigs are omnivores, meaning that they eat both plant matter and they eat meat. So most of the time these guys are getting plant stuff. Occasionally they'll get some leftovers from us. If Ruby doesn't eat a cheeseburger or something, we can throw it to the pigs. As you can see, these guys love eating some grass. They have been here since we got them in September. And what we do here is we move them around all the time so they get fresh pasture and fresh ground to be on. Like I said, a pig loves to dig. Especially when it's wet out, they'll just be covered in mud. A couple other things about pigs. Obviously, pigs are mammals, okay? So they feed their babies milk. They're warm-blooded and they have hair. They are actually closely related to the anatomy of a human being. Maybe they have a lot of the same organs and the functions the same. And you can, in dissections, our school's done a lot of dissections. A lot of times at a certain point you will end up dissecting a little pig. Let's see, what else about the piglets? One thing interesting about pigs is they don't sweat. So as it's getting hotter, they need a place to roll around in, because when we sweat, it actually cools our system down, helps cool our skin. Pigs don't have that ability. So if we look over here, this is their mud pit. When it gets really hot, they kind of roll around in here. Today's in the 60s, so it's not too bad. They don't really need it, and most of the winter they don't, but the days that we've had in the 80s, they were really hot, and they'll look for the shade and sometimes come over and roll in the mud. So you have to make sure you have lots of water for them. All right, so if you look up, this is going to be our future garden space once these pigs are gone. And it looks a little rough right now, but what they've done that's good is they've turned all the rocks up, so we'll have to collect all the rocks. They've also turned the ground, a lot of roots and things we'll be able to get up and get out. And another section of the property that they have been able to work up, we've sowed in clover, which is really good. It's going to hold the roots and improve the soil. So it's a way to help these pigs help us. We feed them, we take care of them. Eventually they'll feed us in many ways. All right, so let's take a little trip in piglet land. Ruby, you want to come? All right, come on. So the pigs are kept in by a little bit of electric fence, so if they touch it, it gives them a little zap. It's not the best thing for them, you might think, but it's a good way to keep them in and get them moving around. They're really smart, so they learn not to touch it, and then they stay in. The net behind it just kind of gives them another way so that they don't think about trying to get out, because Red is actually really smart and she will go right under that electric fence if you let her. Red is the smart one, and Snout is kind of the passive follower. And they're always looking for something to eat. Come on, Kel, this way. Now, pigs have a bad reputation of being stinky, smelly, messy, but actually they're one of the cleanest barnyard creatures. If you notice over here, this is all of their feces. They pick one corner and they will go to the bathroom there, and so that way they don't mess up the rest of their feeding spot. So that's, again, another good thing for having a garden. This will be good fertilizer at some point. You might want to kick that pig. He might try to bite your foot. Pigs are very curious. They're always looking for something to eat. Here's their little hut that they stay in. Come on over, Kel. Oh my, wow. Get this pig away from me. Anyway, this is their hut. They make a nest out of straw and stuff. For some reason, some plastic got in there, which is not good. I guess I can get that real quick here. But yeah, they make little nests, and this is where they sleep. Hey, Snout. How you doing, baby? Hey, cuties. Here. Come on. So, I think that's about it for pigs. Hope you guys learned something. Got a little visit. Maybe we'll do another one sometime soon. Ruby, wave. Say bye. Bye.